Ooh, I was a little fast. All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Please all rise and join us in the pledge. Our flag is behind our screen here, so. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would also like to say Happy Veterans Day. So, thank you. Do we have any other veterans? Dave is a veteran. John, Happy Veterans Day. Oh,
Me too.
Dave, yes, I'm sorry, I knew that. Yes, Happy Veterans Day. Thank you all for your service. All right, so we are going to open up to public comment. So anything that is not already on the agenda, if anyone has anything that they would like to say under that, please feel free to do so. We do ask that it has nothing to do with personnel or directly people. Go ahead, Mrs. Sherman.
Is this where I can talk?
Yes.
Didn't know if you wanted me to talk about our organization or not.
Are you doing, I'm sorry.
I don't think speech and drama or is on the agenda.
No. Okay.
So I thought, okay. Hi, this is Brianna Sherman. I'm good. I'm here for a couple reasons. One, recently the art department earned about $450 grant. I wanted to recognize because of awesome connections I made the past year with the Billings Art Association. So they were really pumped for me to apply, and that money goes towards replacing all of our printmaking to go for our Yellowstone Art Museum exhibition that goes on in the spring. So that was a big goal. Excited that we got that money. And I will be spending money on the rollers, jelly printing. So if you've never heard of it, it's like Jello. Really is like Jello, but you don't refrigerate it. It makes really great stamps, and the kids just absolutely eat it up. I bought materials to actually make it from scratch, so I plan on having my high schoolers make the jellies for this, and then we get to use them in the spring. So that is the goal, to kind of get everyone involved with that. I'm excited to get like storage bins and paper to go along with it. And then the big reason why I'm also here is because speech and drama. I'm excited to be hosting this Saturday with Joliet. It's a good thing we're at Joliet because as of yesterday, I have 20 schools participating, over 200 kids. As of right now, I've only had 6 drops, so I'm waiting to see how eligibility is. We're so full, I've had to recruit the nearby church for 4 more rooms. And so I'm currently in desperate need of judges. So if you've never judged before, that's absolutely okay. I just really need spots filled. I have currently 26 judging positions I need filled desperately. I have 20 coaches at my beck and call, which I'm starting to fill their spots, but when I have 24 informed kids and like 16 schools have an informed kid, I can't fill those spots. So I'm excited that we're having this. I'm stressed. It's okay. I cry or I get mad. It's okay. It's okay. I'm really excited to be doing this. I'm just nervous because I need those spots filled. So
what day and time?
Great question. So Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yes. Our speech meets are always on Saturday except for state. We are using the Joliet High School. So our rounds start at 8:30 for the general majority of the events. Debate will be a half an hour plus extempores because they are so lengthy. And then I have second round at 10:30. Then I have third round at noon, and then finals is at 2. So I really am, especially in desperate need of the 2 o'clock and the 8:30 time slots. Taking a look at my numbers today, my coaches are filling more than half for those 2 selections alone. So I really just need coaches during those times. Sleep all day would be awesome, but I do have people only doing 1 or 2 rounds too. So I'm flexible, but we're also hosting a judging clinic. So if you've never judged before, I was going to try and hold one here, but the majority of our judges currently are from Joliet. So we're hosting it at Joliet on Thursday at 6 p.m. in the multi-purpose room. So those who have, even if they've experienced it before, or they're brand new. I'm gonna go over generally how it runs, what to expect for judging. How to judge kids, like what to expect when you walk eventually. So that's happening, and I'm trying to encourage and spread the word that that's available. If not, I have resources I can send out if people are interested to understand what it's like to judge these fantastic kids. So, yeah.
Thank
a
you.
lot.
Thank you. Thank
you.
you. Any additional public comment?
I have just full public
yeah.
comments. I just want to recognize some positivity that I'm seeing in the school right now. And you know, just coming from our family personally, it's been exciting to see some positive changes. And I think sometimes we always focus on everything we can do better and don't always recognize the positive things. So I just wanted to remark that, like, the addition of the admin presence at the building when the students come. I've heard from a lot of high school students and just families in general in the community that they really appreciate that. And Stacy, you're always at the elementary door, and I think it's like a great way for the kids to start their day. I think Mr. Ward, you know, I personally watched him at the volleyball games, like prep the kids for creating a really positive cheer environment. And Emmy's reported on like their themes and stuff, and the kids have been so positive. I feel like our high school section has been just outstanding, and that's fun to see the kids have fun and be really positive cheerers and come together as students. I think that's been awesome. I came during last week's parent teacher conferences, and it was really nice to see all the teachers collaborating with parents in a positive way. And I also just have really appreciated the student reports at the board meeting and hearing about what the kids are doing. I think it creates a nice centering moment for what we're all here for. And our kids deserve attention. They're doing great things. And so I appreciate that.
Thank you, Bree.
Yeah.
I ditto. All right. Any additional public comment? Perfect. We're going to go ahead and move into our report. So our first report will be our student council representative. Emmy, take the floor. All right, I'm used to them.
Okay. So this is the last meeting because I realized I was like at home, I was like, oh, I think there was a meeting tonight. So I missed the last one. But so for tonight's report, to start, our school has been very busy with lots of events. We had day of service in early October, senior night and pink nights for both football and volleyball. Volleyball districts in Milwaukee, speech and drama season started up, and FFA recently had nationals in Indianapolis, which I heard went really good. And then FCCLA has also had some events, including districts. And student council has been super, super busy the last month and a half. So when Columbus had the recent loss of a student council put into motion where our school wore green, and we raised money for the families in Columbus. And the photo of our high school and middle school wearing green was posted on our school's page to show that Park City supported Columbus and the loss in their school and community. And then recently we also had a loss in our own school. So student council is going to do a hat day every Monday to hopefully raise, our goal is $15,000 for the family. And we're going to have a bucket at the front office for people to also come donate at. And whatever like difference there is, student council will pay so that we can try to meet our goal. And then student council was also very busy with Veterans Day that we had today. We sent invites to our local veterans, and we also got to attend a luncheon that was held at the Civic Center, which was really cool to get to talk to some of the veterans in our community and learn a little bit more about them. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmy. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to our FCCLA presentation.
We are the Park City, some of the representatives from the Park City FCCLA chapter. And we're just going to talk a little bit about what we've been up to. Okay, so first, officers this year, Jordan's our president, And then our vice president is Harlan Meyer, and then I am the secretary slash treasurer. And then we meet every other Wednesday at lunch and discuss fundraisers, competition, service, and community involvement. And then recently we just were able to attend our district conference. This is a picture with our whole district. We're District 10. This was November 4th in Columbus. We had 10 members attend. Our chapter was able to bond and meet new people. We also learned about legacies, cookie decorating, painting. We wrote gratitude letters, and we practiced self-defense there. And then our chapter was in charge of the rock painting station and making flyers. So we got to bring rocks to there and help paint them for the community. And we're also going to put them around the community so people can find rocks around the town. Yeah. And then for community outreach and service, right now we have a clothing drive going on. So people will donate their clothes and then we'll resell them. And then everything that we get from when we resell them will go to an organization that we think would use it. Some organizations might be like Tumbleweed or Billings Food Bank or any of the homeless shelters that especially might need it during these winter seasons. That's going to be on November 23rd, which is a Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and it's going to be held in the gym. And then we're collecting for the 21st. I don't know if you saw, but there's laundry baskets around the school. So if you can just drop Jelly's clothes in there, we would appreciate. And then for star events, we currently are having members pick what event they want to compete in at state. After they decide, we will practice and prepare for our competitions. And then in the past couple of years, we've been pretty successful. We've made it to nationals and Farley the last 2 years. So we've done pretty good with that. This year, we have a lot of new members, so we're going to try some new events and hopefully it goes well. And state's in March, so we still have a while to plan for that. Yeah, thank you. Any questions?
I just want to state that these three girls are not graduating this year. We're going to keep it around.
I don't know about.
Thank you, ladies. All right, so we now have domestic and violence services with Elizabeth.
Yeah, I'm Libby and this is Elizabeth. Where's a good place for us to be? Is this fine?
Yeah,
Can you get them on the camera there?
you're good.
Rick?
Yeah.
My name is Libby Johnson. I'm the co-director of Domestic and Sexual Violence Services. We were founded in 1999 by Mitzi Baracek with the intention of empowering those impacted by violence and fostering healthy relationships. We have offices in Carbon and Stillwater counties. We serve between 150 to 200 clients a year. Those are just the folks that seek our services. And we have a fully volunteer-run helpline that takes about 800 phone calls a year. We're here to talk. We brought you some packets to talk to you just about what our organization does, and then in terms of what we can offer as far as school services. I'll give you a little bit about my background, and then Elizabeth can introduce herself. My background is I have about 25 plus years in education. My undergraduate work was in special education. I have graduate degrees in applied behavior analysis and educational leadership. I formerly worked as a high school special education teacher at Red Lodge High School, and then moved into a behavior consultant job for Yellowstone West Carbon County Special Services Co-op. And I also worked for 10 years as a behavior consultant for the Office of Public Instruction. I've been in this position for 6 years.
Okay. I'm Elizabeth Hickson. I grew up in Rapple J. My rap sheet's a little bit shorter than Libby's, but so I started at Bridger High School as their health and physical education teacher, and Libby and the violence prevention educator at the time would come in and teach about healthy relationships to my classes to fulfill some of those healthy relationship standards that Montana has. And they were looking to add on an extra person, and I was really passionate about what these guys did. So that's how I started with them 2 years ago. I'm still connected with the Bridger community. I just came from a basketball game. You know, there's always those Monday, Tuesday games for junior high. So I hit the interstate off of Reed Point. So that's why I was a little bit tardy tonight. But we will tell you a little bit more about the organization, and then we'll get into some of the prevention education that we offer.
Okay. It's a big job. I'll just tell you what we do. It's a big job. And so, makes a lot of different folks. We serve clients in three ways. I put them in three categories. The work that we do, which is direct services, which is one-on-one client help. We can offer court accompaniments, medical accompaniments, taking an order of protection, emergency shelter, help with childcare, help with transportation, help with rent. And we have a transitional housing services program, which is for longer term help for people. So we can help people for up to 24 months. Within that is also, I mentioned our helpline. We are one of the few DV organizations in Montana right now who has been able to maintain an all volunteer run helpline. We think that's really important. We like to know that when somebody calls our phone, that they're talking to somebody who lives where they live, and already has a sense of the resources available, and can relate to their experience, right? We serve 2 rural counties, and that is very different than being a DV organization in an urban environment. And then the second way we do that is what we call coordinated community response. And this is with all of our community partners. So these are folks who we call them systems partners. And we work to ensure that each of those entities is responding to domestic and sexual violence in a way that's trauma informed, compassionate, and caring. And so we would count in that, we count law enforcement, we count first responders, we count medical professionals, we count churches, we count school districts, the whole gamut. We also have what we call an advocate initiated response. So we have an agreement with every law enforcement entity in our service areas. So that's Bridger PD, Columbus PD, Red Lodge PD, and both Carbon-Stillwater County Sheriff's Departments, that they are called to the scene of a partner family member assault. While they are either charging or whatever they're doing with the perpetrator, they're handing our information to the victim, and we guarantee them that we will reach out to them within 24 hours. Research tells us that is super important. If somebody is going to seek our services, it's really important it happens. And that works out really well. I mean, our helpline now is mostly referrals from law enforcement, sometimes friends and families, sometimes an individual, but typically from law enforcement. And then the third way we do this is through prevention education, and what was it?
So we feel that it's important to educate the community about domestic and sexual violence in Carbon-Stillwater. We got how many helpline calls last year?
Around 800.
Around 800, and we served 100 clients. We served 100 clients last year. So in order to work on the prevention side of things, we will go out into the community and train whoever we can get in front of, particularly the youth in our community. So what we are offering is a prevention education curriculum that Libby and I would come in and teach during regular health classes. We've already met with Jordan Smith. She's all for it. She's about it if you guys are. But that first, and Mitch, yeah, he was in on that meeting as well. But that first page on the right-hand side is our menu of services. So we teach this very age appropriate, right? So the first thing on there is Power Up Speak Out. That is our 5th and 6th grade curriculum. That is a 5-lesson curriculum, and it has existed since 2012. We've recently updated it. So it is fresh for the youth. It was our whole middle school curriculum, but we're finding that kids are learning more and more about what it means to be in their relationship earlier. It's really, and in Power Up Speak Out, we talk about relationships in terms of their peer relationships. So that includes their friendships, and any potential romantic relationships too. And then the second is our 7th and 8th grade curriculum. That can be up to 10 lessons, but we can always condense it down and customize it however Ms. Sweeney needs us to. And third is our high school curriculum. So back not last school year, but in the 2023-2024 school year, we were here and we taught 7th through 10th grade. So we did our 7th and 8th grade curriculum and the high school curriculum. At that first page on the left side is a survey report. So we always pre and post surveys, like hear from the students, and we adapt the curriculum annually to fit what it is that they want to learn, and what we can do to make it more interesting and better, for them. So that just goes through each of our, pre and post survey, questions and how their, content knowledge improved. And then on the back of that page, that's where, some of your students wrote about their experiences having us in class.
Sorry, should I jump in?
Yeah, jump in.
We currently have a presence or some level of presence in every school district in our service area. But it is very individual to each school district, and we created it with that intention. We know that you know your families and your kids best. So we're here to help develop whatever we like that to look like. We also provide professional development for staff and administrators. We are sanctioned by the Office of Public Instruction to provide continuing education credits. And so we provide training on Title IX and mandated reporting, which is annual training that school staff needs to have.
Yeah, I think your staff has had it twice from us. So.
Yeah. We're on every other year model, just capacity wise.
Yeah,
That's a lot of
just
school districts, right?
Yeah.
And so that way, if we're starting with a sixth grader, we're going to get them with a different curriculum in eighth grade and then a different curriculum in 10th grade, with the understanding that healthy relationships is a practice. Right. It's not a one and done. We have to keep talking about it. We do ask if there is a staff member who joins us in class, A, just for liability for you and for us, but B, we know that there's going to be questions in the week in between when we come back again, and we want the teacher to be present in the room, listening to the information that we're providing, and can answer any of those questions or gather up any of that for us if they want to reach out to us. Yeah. What else? We can tell you, there's the curriculums are actually in there. So like the links to the standards and every video that we show is in there. We are very much in favor of full transparency. And you can see we do a whole spectrum. We start with healthy relationships. We talk about types of abuse, healthy communications, right? So important. We talk about consent. We talk about boundaries. We talk about mental health and suicide prevention. We talk about bystander intervention and human trafficking, some of the topics. We just finished with Luther. We are currently in Belfry and at Roosevelt Middle School. Belfry, I'll just give you that as an example. They chose 6 out of 10 classes and decided which ones they wanted. We also provide a sample opt-out letter, which schools, so it needs to be generated by your district, but we can give you an example of sort of what that might look like. And I've had a lot of questions from folks about what does opt-out look like in the individual school district. What I'll tell you is some school districts we have hardly any, and some school districts we have lots. And I think that's dependent on a couple of different things. I think it's really important how this program is communicated from the perspective of the school district and why it might be important for kids. And also, what is the alternative? If you're not coming to class with us, probably if you're shooting hoops, you're going to choose that. And so there's something else. But we're super happy to answer any questions that you might have.
The only thing I had was the opt-out process, which is required now by law.
Yeah.
So,
And so we're thinking if you're on board and you can just let us know, we'll probably aim for the spring semester.
Okay.
Probably after the first of the year. We'll finish out the schools that we have currently on the calendar. And then any other additional things that you might like, I'll tell you just as an aside. We also have been teaching parenting classes. It's a conscious discipline model. We've been doing it in Red Lodge since 2021. We've trained over 250 educators and parents. Trying to get it off board in Stillwater County. We'd really love to see that happen. Reach out if you have an interest. We've done a couple of things at the Stillwater County Library. But typically what that looks like is we do it in the evening in Red Lodge. We're partnered with the Boys and Girls Club. We provide dinner and we provide free childcare. And then it's about 90 minutes, right? Because if you can't feed people and you don't take care of their kids, it's really hard for them to do things in the evening, as you well understand. But let me know if you're interested in that. And then
Does the teacher curriculum include trauma-informed care training then? I didn't see that on there, but I know
that's
just,
volunteer.
oh, that's,
For volunteers, yep. We do talk about mental health and suicide prevention with the kids
mhm.
and self-care. We do have content. We go through and we do breathing exercises. There are two of us intentionally. Because if there's anything that comes up for a kid that is triggering or upsetting, one of us can go with them while the other one continues to teach. And we think that's really important to make sure that we're addressing those needs immediately.
What all have you done here?
We've, in 2023, 24,
Yep. That first.
we've done professional development and we've done, we did a 10-lesson curriculum with 7th and 8th grade. And was internship. So kind of, when we do it like that, we just come all day, basically, we just teach classes back to back. It's kind of the evening thing for us, we maybe 4 or 5 classes. Yeah, answer our email.
Yeah.
What did we do last year?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm gonna run, but-
Okay.
Yeah.
We got a long time, thank you.
We appreciate you guys coming in and
Appreciate
stuff.
it.
For
Jordan here to like talk about road.
Oh,
I don't know if you want to let them come now or.
Yeah.
Have a wait.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Now that I heard it, you need to well.
All
right,
Want to talk about audio. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
They're here. just for the
For junior.
video part. I didn't-
Thank you, ladies. Have a good night.
Talks, like,
We're gonna make a little adjustment to this agenda. We'll go ahead and have Jordan and Colt, please come talk about rodeo. And then you guys don't have to hang for the rest of the night.
So you two know that it's on the agenda for the rodeo to become a lettering activity.
Yes.
FCCLA and FFA and what's the other, there's one, right?
I think we.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to talk about rodeo and.
Personally, I think rodeo should be lettered because like I've had to work at my grades for all through high school and even before that, and you have to be eligible to rodeo. You have to actually send in your grades each every spring and fall season. And if you have below, I think it's a D. I think it's even stricter than the sports rules that we have here to actually rodeo. So like it would really help if like because I work really hard to do that. So to get lettered in, it would be really
Basically what I was gonna say.
Oh,
But yeah, we just have to have our grades up and it's a high standard to do it and it's just really fun and it's kind of,
it takes a lot of time.
yeah.
Not only to put in work for ourselves, but for our animals too. So yeah.
You guys have a fall and a spring season, correct?
I think it's 32 rodeos altogether. And Montana out of well, NHSRA has the most rodeos. So it's really competitive. It's basically a trailer race.
So when you guys are out there, you identify yourself from Park City Heights?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not high school necessarily, but they say your town.
Yeah.
Are there any club, like, you'll probably know this, like Townsend has a rodeo club or Three Forks has a rodeo club, those. So do they have any like identification saying that they're from those rodeo clubs?
I'm not
Remember?
exactly sure. I know that I've talked to a few people, like some of my friends or whatever, and they like said that they've gotten letters before
Okay.
from their schools. I think Shepherd does it for sure. And that's the only one I can for sure tell you, but I'm sure more do it.
I think Columbus does also.
And then they have to participate in so many rodeos.
Yeah,
or do
what's
you have
the
to play?
requirements for littering?
You know,
You guys talked.
You know, I mean, since we have never been lettered, I wouldn't know. So
I don't know if you heard from your friend.
There's,
I can get back to you about it.
there's
but-
points requirements for making it to the state rodeo.
Oh,
And then the top, how many go to
The
the
top
nationals?
four from state.
Go to nationals.
oh,
Yeah, and there's probably 60 or 70 kids in each event. So it's really competitive.
Yeah. And we currently have 3 rodeo kids, so Colt, Ruby, and Jordan. And is there anybody else from?
Thank you, guys.
So I'll have that. Cool. Well, what would I get you? Gotta just go out and call the sheet. Okay.
All right,
You're on, do now.
we're on D now, D now. Park City Affiliated Teachers Federation, I believe we have someone. It's not Shelley. Oh, okay.
I told her I was like,
Your phone is, right?
Okay,
No problem.
so no, okay, moving on. We'll move on to Eden. Facilities and transportation update for our committee for that. John or Stacy, would you like to?
So I can go ahead and read our facilities report that Dave gave us and pass around some pictures from things going on. So over at the VOAG building, we added circulating fans and opened up the upper vents, which were covered with insulation to reduce some condensation concerns that we had over there. We're going to continue to monitor the interior conditions and coordinate with YBC and AT Architecture on long-term solutions. The modular classrooms, where those were at, we contracted with Rock Solid Excavating to grade and add gravel to the former modular site so that could be put back to parking. Over at the bus garage, there was preventative maintenance performed on 2 buses and updated inspection logs filed with the county superintendent's office. Grounds and exterior maintenance, there was irrigation systems were winterized and snow equipment was prepped for the season. Tree stumps were removed along the VOAG building with the blessing of Jay Story. A stop sign was placed near the 2nd Avenue crosswalk for student safety and was later removed by the county, which is, or is that something you're going to talk about more? Okay. And the district is reviewing options after they or stop sign wrongly. Custodial and general maintenance, the HVAC filters were replaced throughout the district. The roof and gutter inspections were completed along with the installation of additional gutters on the district office, and minor repairs were made at the elementary wing. On October 27th, John and I and Dave and Carl all met with the architect and YBC to discuss our long-term or our steps to help with the condensation issue we've been having over in the ag building. And that's where the installation of those fans came from and opening up the roof vents. The best way to mitigate that is at a very high cost of $30,000 to $50,000. So we've opted for this for now.
It does seem to be working.
Yeah.
It is dry in there.
We also have an issue with water coming in between the covering of the building and the concrete. And so we've been talking about ways to fix that. YBC proposed sealing the exterior using heavy duty silicone caulk and metal flashing. We had ordered some product called Sanitread for the exterior, but it won't work out there. So that's going to be used on the interior. He estimated roughly $500 for steel, silicone, and related materials. And then we're going to do all that ourselves, right? Carl, or is
still haven't
YBC
seen-
going to do it? You
yeah.
haven't seen a bid.
We haven't
Okay.
seen what they would.
So we'll report back on that. Both the architect and YBC emphasized that proper airflow is key to preventing mold growth. YBC noted the insulation is inorganic and resistant to mold, so we're not worried about that, but they did do some work to prop up the insulation off the ground. The kids built some blocking to put under there. Our next steps, that already is done. So we got the insulation removed from the vents. The fans are installed. We'll review the feasibility of exterior metal flashing to improve sealing, evaluate the use or return of the Sanitread material that we purchased, and reevaluate the air quality and moisture after the fixes are complete. Did the bus break down since our last board meeting up in Harrison?
Yeah, our junior high bus that went to Ennis struggled getting back. It broke down in Harrison. Harrison provided us with a couple vehicles to get the kids back. We were able to limp it into Whitehall, and about $8,400 they were able to fix it. But then we struggled coming back with some sensors that were going off. But as of now, it is running.
Did you comment on the bleachers?
Oh, no, I haven't commented on the bleachers. I'll let Dave do that, or John, because I don't know.
John, he hooked us up with that.
Sorry.
They're just pictures.
Yeah. These are at the county fairgrounds, the old county fairgrounds. You guys wanna see this? This is driving by and I knew that they had bought new ones for the new facility, so I called Roger Webb and asked him what they were doing with those sets, and he said we could have them. So,
Free?
yeah, so,
They voted on it yesterday.
yeah, he's had to do a letter of interest to the county commissioners and so it's two sets, one's what about 36 wide, 9 rows high off the ground. It's really solid. Me and all went and looked at them, and then the other sets, I think about 40 wide, but it has a platform foot high, so it's like 4 rows. But it's all aluminum. Pretty nice shape.
We're still discussing with YBC about
Yes.
fixing. Yeah, there's a few of the old bleachers that are in really bad shape right now. One board in the bleachers that we sit in is about to, somebody's to go through the, where you put your.
The concept here is to go all the way around like Grill Stadium, because right now we're kind of like Bozeman
And
Stadium.
then the rodeo kids can ride in there.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge thing for us. Looking at
Yeah,
bleachers,
they
and they are not cheap. They
Yeah.
are not cheap, as we all know. That's probably, I don't know, 35,000-40,000 for the big one, brand new.
Yeah.
So, when I talked to Roger when he called yesterday, the commissioners did vote on to approve it. And we can pick them up at any time. We're gonna have to disassemble and reassemble, take it probably next spring.
Okay.
But after my letter, we might want to do it before they.
I don't care how long they sit there, they're fine.
No, he said they were fine till next spring.
Yeah. Figuring out where they're gonna sit to, making it so, because these ones will not be able to be moved. So it'll have to be like either gravel or something down. They won't be able to be grass because they won't be able to move them to mow.
Okay.
I think that's kind of the standard that we want to
Those
do. with
over
all
there
of our
look
bleachers.
low right now.
They can, yes, they're sock, the bottom's like a skid, like a
Oh,
thing, so they can actually drag them. That's how they do them for. When we used to have track meets, they would slide them over to the fence.
Oh, legit. I do remember that. Okay.
We're not in very good shape.
Great. Movement happening.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. Any further updates for facilities and transportation? We'll go ahead. Sorry. We'll go ahead and move on to policy, governance, curriculum committee, and that's Brianna and I and Dave and Cece. Dan, do you want to give updates?
Yeah, I mean, our updates mostly
Volunteer.
are all under new business. We reviewed policies 111, 2150, 2334, 2450, 3550, 3550F, and 8450 again. And so we have our review and recommendations that are with new business.
Perfect.
And then we were going to start in on the
1,000 section next week.
2000s. Yes.
Great. Thank you. We will move on to our finance committee, and that is Kelsey, myself, and Dave, and Lisa, and Jessica. Kelsey, are you okay with an update?
So, what day we met was October 24th. So at 9 a.m., we mostly went over the 2024 audit review, which was the audit year that ended June 30th of 2024. We reviewed that. It actually didn't turn out to be as bad as we thought it was going to be, because of the fixes we did with Watkins. That helped us out. So, and now we're on a better path. However, there's going to be some things that are going to linger for this coming audit that will end June 30th of 2025. And then after that, then we're in much better shape. We talked a lot about the hot lunch program and the negative balance of that and how we're going to fix that. And we talked about bringing some adult ed back to the school. So. Got it?
Could the parenting classes be considered adult ed?
Had that myself for a second.
And I have the minutes from the safety. It's not on there.
Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and do that one also, please.
You want to do that, John, or you got it?
Go ahead, let's check.
So we went over the emergency operations plan. I think Mitch is kind of taking that. Working on that mostly. They're working on numbering all the rooms and the windows as well, and then making a color-coded map with the different zones. And then that would go out to all the emergency services in the county. So if something happened, everyone would have access to that.
Are we following the one the RSO
It's
suggested?
like in addition to. And so there will be numbers on the outside of every door and every window on the outside. So if something were to happen, then you can say, you know, F-123 or whatever. We talked about like emergency drills and training, different scenarios, kind of along the lines of the RSOs. What you told us at the board meeting last time. Let's see. We talked about the communication systems, what would happen if the internet went down, lack of phones in some rooms. Thing. It's gonna be a stop the bleed training coming in, a trauma nurse / parent. Volunteer is gonna be providing staff training this winter sometime on, I think on a Friday workday. Then we will have the kids and materials here. And we talked about that stop sign. It just keeps coming around.
Not a roundabout, unfortunately.
Not anymore. It's not gonna be.
It will.
That's so pretty, I gotta kick you.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, we actually put a sandbag on it to stop it from blowing over.
And I picked the sandbag too.
Well, the thing that's
That's
interesting
rude.
to me is that they didn't replace it with their county approved signs. They just left it totally unsigned.
Hmm.
Right.
Why did it have to be removed prior to having the curb signs? Anyhow, if you're gonna talk about the side sign, you might as well talk about it now since it keeps coming up. It's the elephant in the room.
Okay, so I got an email, a couple weeks ago from, the, county road supervisor, Mr. McVitie. Questioning why we had a stop sign in the middle of the road between the district office and the front office, and I explained to him why. He wanted to, he thought we should have that removed. I responded that, you know, there were other signs that were of concern. Many of the stop signs do not meet the code, being 7 feet high. We're missing school zone signs down here on this corner. The ones over here by the football field are facing the wrong way. So, and I also mentioned that our crosswalks needed paint. He said that he would work on that. You'd get somebody down here to take a look at the heights of the signs and the ones that we needed, and he had planned for 2026 for the paint on our crosswalks, which, oh boy, I mean, 4, 8, 12, 16, 17 total? Is that right? Between the 4 corners, right? Which was interesting because when I got here this summer, they were doing some of that work, but they went and do ours, you know, which is the county road. So that kind of set things up. You know, there's been some concerns with what the county does do and doesn't do. You know, it was great that they put in the irrigation or the drainage system on Clark Street, which should help us with the the lakes that we have, and so far it's been working. But at the same time, I understand that they struggle with getting snow removed for us, between the two buildings. And so the stop sign came from me being out front and just watching, that debacle in the morning. A lot of near misses, kids getting, dropped off, cars driving through. So just slow traffic down. It was primarily just for child safety. When he on the third email said that he would have something, I took that as, I'm just gonna leave that stop sign out there until he doesn't. So I was in Missoula on Monday. I know I shouldn't leave because things happen to John, and that was one of many things that happened. They came by and picked it up. I've got it on video. I sent a couple pictures to the county commissioners in an email, and also sent it to the Sanders County newspaper. I did talk to Roger yesterday afternoon, Roger Webb, our county commissioner, about it, and told him that, we were upset about this, and we needed our material back. It was our equipment, our sign, our post. Not much, but it's still $300. And that they hauled away. He said he would talk to try to get something figured out here. I waited for 24 hours. And I sent the email out today, about at 4:30. Have not heard anything back from anybody yet. So I'm not trying to be confrontational, trying to be diplomatic, and like to know basically, who the person, whoever took it, what authority did they have? It's not something that, it was something that we discussed in our safety committee. It was something that we discussed with law enforcement in the county and with our SRO. We thought it was a great idea. And then to have somebody from county planning and roads decide upon themselves that this was something that needed to go. I just can't get my head around that. So that's where we're at with it right now. When I did talk to Roger, I said that, we don't get satisfaction, I will, start writing letters. That's what I did.
And it's been documented with the sheriff's office as well, right?
So we did have an officer here today that was doing a COPS program. She was down reading in the first grade, kindergarten. And so I took advantage when she was here. And so I talked to Sheriff's Deputy Robbins and filed the complaint, a report with her this afternoon. I just don't get it in the grand scheme of things. And I told Mr. Webb, I said, we had a lot of support from the community with that stuff. Parents, staff, kids. So we shall see. It's not about going over to the Boag building as much as it is in the morning with our traffic, the volume of traffic that we have, and it's split up because she gets half of it down on the elementary side of it, or the littles.
Yeah.
And I get there's littles that come here too with the yearly childhood program.
And the
Just-
bus drop off.
On the bus, yeah. So, be happy to work with them and come up with some solutions. That's the main thing. We do need to get traffic slowed down in there. So that's all I got on that thus far. I'll keep you abreast of things.
Thank you. Stacy, elementary principal.
I feel like I have a lot to say tonight, so I'll talk quickly. Dave talked about, we have COP in the classroom program. Officer Waltner has kind of organized that. So 1 week out of the month, I think he has 5 deputies that have chosen a time they come in and read with our elementary students. And it's pretty cool. Just kind of to get them used to seeing an officer and not being afraid of them, or if they ever needed help, or if they showed up at their house or something, to not be afraid. So it's pretty fun to watch them reading, and the kids have all kinds of interesting questions to ask about their guns and their tasers and their jackets and their vests and so it's pretty fun to see. Miss Shermer takes our first kindergarten, first, second graders to the Yellowstone Art Museum. They have done their field trips, and then the art that they create at the Yam will be displayed at a what's it called?
The Young Artist Gallery.
In the Young Artist Gallery in mid-May or in early June. PTA still sponsoring our visits to the Alberta Bear Theater again this year. Third grade goes next week. That's the first class to go. The rest of the classes will go out throughout the year. They kind of just choose which production they want to watch, and then they go. Midterm of the second quarter is Monday, if you can even believe that. I cannot. Parent teacher conferences were very well attended. We were thinking they weren't so bad. I went over attendance today. We're close to 95% of our scheduled conferences were attended. And my teachers are still trying. The parents that weren't able to attend the parent teacher conf, like we have scheduled next week for a student whose parents couldn't make it those nights. So they're really trying hard to meet with all of the parents. Miss Gochi had her fall book fair, very successful, best win yet, she said. $5,300 just in the book fair, which is super amazing. That helps put books in here as well as books in the hands of our kids to take home. The community Thanksgiving dinner is scheduled for November 20th, which is next Thursday. That is probably the most chaotic day ever in this building, but
No.
it all happens. We get them all fed. They still get their recess. Their parents are happy. The kids are happy. Everybody's happy, but it's craziness. So
I'm not here that day.
we start. So
You're serving that day.
That's right.
Need
I already did the
space.
schedule. That's the hard part.
Do you need help?
We might.
Okay.
Michelle said she would be reaching out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And FCCLA kids help serve and FFA help set up and PE kids help set up. So it's kind of a huge project. But we start serving at 10:30 in the morning, so we can get everybody through by the time we're done with our lunch hour. Another thing we have, Beartooth Humane Alliance comes in starting in December. I think it's most December and January. And she just does presentations in each of the grade levels about pet safety and the cost of the true cost of raising or having a pet. Those kids don't really understand that part. So the older kids kind of participate in that sort of thing. But I thought it was really cool when Dave and Birdie showed up. I noticed that they really talked to our kids about asking if it's okay to pet your pet. And I saw that our kids were doing that. They were asking him if it was okay to pet Birdie until they know they pet her. But so the information is carrying over, which is great.
And how to wear her out, which they did very well.
I know I've been doing that this morning.
Great shot.
Teach her to take her own while you're done. She even got her own mail at the school today too.
Oh, Friday, yeah, UPS showed up with a package for Birdie White, so. I said, oh my God, did she get one of my credit cards? Yeah.
Thank you, Stacy.
Yes, and I have Mr. Ward's report too. Is he next?
He is, yes, thank you.
Fall athletics has been wrapped up and completed all of their seasons. He wants to thank all of the coaches for all their work in ball and volleyball. The football team finished 3-5 and just missed the final playoff spot in our conference. Volleyball ended 2 weeks ago with the district tournament in Absaroka. The girls ended the regular season 11-8, and cross countries finished up as well. Mr. Russell was able to take 2 athletes to the state meet in Missoula. And again, he mentioned he appreciates all the hard work of the coaches this fall during the fall seasons. Almost at the end of junior high basketball season, with their end of the season tournament is this Saturday in Custer. And fall athletic banquet is going to be on Monday evening at 6:30 in the gym. And they'll also have their winter sports parent meeting before the banquet for high school basketball and for cheer. And then, Emmy mentioned they had the Veterans Day Assembly today, and Miss Owen and the student council just did a great presentation for the students today. With a great turnout of over 30 veterans, and I guess speakers.
Good speaker was phenomenal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
His mother was a kindergarten teacher here for a couple decades, Western,
Western.
yeah.
Miss Western.
That's awesome.
And relative of. Let's see.
Oh,
Oh, you're being from Western. He has some questions about my report, but probably not about Mitchell's.
thank you. Clerk report, Lisa.
All right, so, Brianne had a good question earlier today. She was wondering where October's information was at. Well, I don't get that information till after our board meetings generally for the previous months, so we're always a month behind. So the stuff that you're able to look at that's in the spreadsheet is for September. It'll go July to September essentially. So in there is the cash report summary that was done for September, and everything balanced again. Couple small errors that I worked with the county to work on. And then I've done a couple of Mr. Watkins did some journal vouchers to kind of help with the deficit in the 115 account. So those will show up as we're closing out in 2025-26. Those deficits will start to be reduced due to some of the journal vouchers that he did for that. So, and then we also have on here the audit report, which we'll discuss a little bit later. Our percentage budget to actual is sitting pretty good for this time of year. So if you click on where you're at, yeah. Oh, sorry, it keeps doing that, and there should be a way to download it.
We're still sideways.
Yeah, it's the way that Black Mountain does it. We can flip it around.
Picture that building. On that teacher residency grant. Can you explain that to me? Sorry, the funds come through from the state, or where
Yes.
that's at, and then as a resident teacher, they get a stipend
Yes.
Yes,
from that exact amount that
Yep.
comes through.
Yeah.
Like, we don't get above it. Like, it's just basically the money's transferred to.
to
Yeah,
us to
person's
pay
salary.
him, and he gets that $1,400 plus a $300.
Yeah, so you
person
don't get
stipend.
paid like a administration fee
No.
for being a city
No
provider.
cost for us,
No.
All right.
but I think Mr. Marcus.
If he does, it's not, he doesn't get a stipend at this point, no. But-
Usually the university will give you credit.
Yep.
So he doesn't get paid. He
Right.
does. He doesn't.
No.
Oh, Mark, sorry, the teacher, but Mark doesn't
Supervisor.
get an extra stipend for supervising from the university.
In the past, FFA has done, or VOAG has done it,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end of it, there is a stipend that does come out. I don't know if this residency program is gonna be the same thing, because this is a year-long program
Mhm.
versus the 6 to 8 weeks that they're normally student teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference there, so. And he seems to be doing pretty well, he's. So. So do you guys have any other questions on that? So through September is balanced. I have every confidence that October is gonna be a breeze as soon as I get the information from the county. So. And I'm trying to go as paperless as I can with doing those reports so I don't print them out anymore from the county. Cause it's 250 pages of a ledger query, and I've got stacks and stacks. So the only time I'll have to print it is when the auditors come, if they need it that way, but they prefer paperless also. So. And Jess is doing phenomenal. She did her first payroll today, pretty much on her own. I just had to go in and do just a couple things. So so when I take my month vacation, she'll be, I'm joking, but I feel extremely confident if I needed to be gone for a period of time that she could handle it all. So. But do you guys have any questions on those reports at all?
Or are you gonna, or the VOAG building?
Oh, VOAG building, I have updated it as much as I can just for the YBC. Jess and I are still in the process of combining them all together.
So when we do the fans and that additional stuff, is that part of this?
That'll
overall
be
budget?
in there under it'll be under what I call the legal fees or school cost. Cause that'll be,
And those were pretty insignificant.
yeah,
Those were 150 bucks a fit, and there's 3 of them.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't even think it was 150, and then Carl installed them.
so in total, we're at a 377,707.
That's as of the last YBC. I haven't not gotten the final bill from YBC yet.
And we still have that contingency fee.
Yep.
That we're holding on for things, and there are a couple concerns that we have in there. The lights are buzzing and they're blinking. That I noticed today. It's been, we're gonna probably have to get the electrician back out there again.
What's the expected final though? That we owe YBC?
78.
It's under the
Oh, it's gonna say
estimated remaining. It's the second to last.
19,500.
Yeah, that's what's left on what they have given me on their scope of work. So
Our
So it's gonna come in like,
projected budget, we had about 8,000 left, but then we had legal fees and there's a couple other things that were in addition to what we had from their original bid plus the change orders.
but even with that, it's still gonna come up right on budget.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
and the reason why I kept the legal fees and the architect fees separate is because they weren't part of YBC's budget. So that is something that we're absorbing as a district that is not part of the YBC side. And that's why I separated those out. So we didn't have our old stuff muddying the new stuff, but I will put together the report for our December meeting that'll have the overall cost of everything that we've sunk into that building.
Nice.
And the legal and
Nice.
architect stuff is pretty insignificant. It's not very
Yep.
much at all.
Yeah.
The architect was a great deal for us. He did a lot more even than he originally, he wasn't going to sign off on any of the payment.
But then he ended up
Application
doing
for
it.
payment, but he did it, which was great.
Yeah, because our intercap loan required his signature in order for them to pay it. So, and that the 142,000 that we paid YBC, we got a payment on Friday the 7th for that. I got a notification from Intercap and I had preemptively told the county already, so they didn't email me to say, hey, where's this money supposed to go? And they haven't emailed me yet, so that's a good sign.
What's the payment schedule look like? The
It
repayment?
averages, because they've all been smaller amounts. So what they're gonna do is once we're done with the loan and we close the loan, they'll combine everything together. And it'll probably be about 25,000-30,000 each payment. And it's what did we do, 15-year?
Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be
Intercap?
yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so that way won't be such a hard hit on that, so.
And what are we currently getting into our, building depreciation, or no, the building? Which fund are we paying that out of?
We're paying it out of the building fund, because that's where we're putting the intercap loan in. And then our building reserve fund is where the taxes are coming into.
Okay.
And I'll know more about that in December. Hopefully I'll have some numbers from the county at that point.
Of what we're
And
going
of-
to getting into our building reserve.
Yeah.
fund. Okay.
Basically, it's a wash.
Yeah.
Our building reserve money for the next 15 years is going towards intercap.
Were we thinking that was gonna go up at one time and we were gonna have,
We get more of a, of like SM payment that increased it, so we didn't have to increase our permissive levy.
Right.
So,
The state money that we get.
yeah.
And plus, getting rid of the two modulars,
Mm-hmm.
that was $60,000 a year between the two of them. That is no longer there.
Have you heard back on that second one? Are they trying to fight it still?
Haven't heard a word.
And I sent the final payment out last week, so.
It's been over a month now, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the statute of limitations are, but I'm pretty certain we haven't met them yet. And there are a couple things that we probably will. Yeah, there was, in the contract, there was a clause that we did not improve, and I don't know how many years ago we put gutters on.
We put gutters on right afterwards due to the fact that you had to walk through a lake to be able, lake and ice to be able to get into the VOAG building. It was bad.
Yeah.
because it ran the water and the roof on.
Mhm. And it caused a severe, yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Superintendent's report.
So, let me see here. We have cranked up our community food drive. Tammy Harpster's done a fantastic job with last I saw, we had about $500 come in and donations. We've had a lot of food come in. We've had a lot of food going out. She's going in shopping again. We have I just saw those numbers, 69 kids in our district that are on SNAP currently. So it is affecting our community, our school, our families. And we are still taking food in, and we still have food going out. Like I said, she's going on a shopping trip tomorrow morning to get more. I have two resignations. Mr. Baker is going to resign from his afternoon route or his morning route, half one or the other, and that's why I've got Mr. Knight on the agenda, pick up that other half. And then Aida Oldmark resigned effective yesterday. And we're tap dancing there, but we will, after I reported this to you guys and according to our policy, all I need to do is report to you and submit a letter to her, and that I have the authority to accept that resignation, and I have. So we will get that advertised tomorrow. There are a couple of folks that are seemingly interested in it thus far. We do have three new teachers that are under mentorship with through ACE, our new kindergarten teacher, our band teacher, and our PE teacher. That seems like a pretty good program. The music teacher is that's coming in and helping us. She's got 34 years of experience teaching choir and band and music, and so that's been advantageous. She's also working with our kindergarten teacher, and then we have a different person that comes in for our PE, and that's all through the ACE program and our curriculum. Consortium. The last thing I have is my evaluation. I'd like to get that out to you guys in December. I'm kind of filling out how you guys do that. I was told by Mr. Milligan that he does a survey. That's how you've done that in the past. I'm fine with that. The only thing that kind of caused me a little pause is that you guys do it anonymously.
Yeah, it is. I was, for some reason, there was things tied to it, but that's because I used to review them. Yes, it is anonymously. I don't know that it needs tenacity. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
Can we make,
You can, I talked to him about that. When I met him, he thought that was the appropriate way to do things, and I said, I don't agree with that. He said, well, if the board doesn't want to do it that way, they can do it, any other way.
Mhm.
There's also MockPass that you can use, for superintendents. There's different instruments, but
Okay.
I'm good with whatever you decide to do. Usually in the clause in the superintendent's contract, it's a thing that the two have to agree on, but I don't have that. Might be something I want to negotiate with you guys in January. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention that
Okay.
one, I'd like to get the evaluation done. It's required by February 1st,
Okay.
or else it's like teachers by June 1st, if you don't do something, they automatically get another year. Same thing for us, although I already have another year on my contract. I have a 2-year contract, so.
And normally we do that in January.
We do, it's sent out the end of December and then
Yep.
we report off on it in that we go
Our
over it in that
January
January meeting.
and have the closed session for that.
I'll keep it open.
I don't need it to be anonymous as far as I'm concerned. So,
Fine.
yeah,
That's fine. I don't know that it was really that anonymous, let's be honest. There's 5 of us.
I know, but yeah, it's this vibe, and that's kind of, I'm thinking I do like this place, and I'd like to stay here possibly for a while, and get some projects done.
Forever.
And I have a feeling that some of us might be bailing from the board, and you just don't know, from my perspective, who's going to be here.
Yeah.
Have you ever participated in a 360 review from staff? And like the principals you supervise? It doesn't seem to be commonplace in the education system.
No,
Other worlds I live in, it's more commonplace, particularly in leadership positions, to hear from the people you supervise. I think it creates honestly pretty collaborative relationships on like things they're needing, and creates open dialogue about just that supervisory experience. But it hasn't been something we've done here in the past, but I didn't know if other school districts did it.
I've never been involved with that, although I did ask, when I first started, I asked the teachers, the staff to evaluate me. The first time I did it, I really got hurt. It's like, how could they think this? And I was mad, and I asked them. Yeah, there's value in it, but also, I do can struggle with the idea of being evaluated by the people that I supervise.
Yeah, that's
So,
Yeah.
it's 6 other. I mean, I'm open to anything, however you guys want to do it. I just, I know from my perspective, when things come in anonymously, I generally don't do much with it. It usually ends up in a circular file. If you don't want to put your name onto it, if somebody has things set up, staff or anything like that. I guess my feeling is you're elected to do a couple things, hire and supervise your superintendent. And I don't know, I don't quite see how you do that anonymously.
Mhm.
But again, just kind of filling things out. I've only been here for 4 months. Sometimes it seems a lot
It's
longer.
like, it feels like there's been so much longer with everything that's going.
But at the same time, it's gone pretty fast too.
Yeah.
It's been good. I am enjoying being in Park City. A couple things that came up, the new law, we were gonna cover that in board policy 1111, but, to declare to run for board position, you have to do it no sooner than 145 days before the election. The election this year's May 5th, 26th. So that 145 days is December 11th.
What?
It's
Mhm.
coming. And it can be no later than 85 days, which would be February 9th, 2026.
So you don't have that long, that period where you can go from December to the middle to the end of March now. They've shortened that up because they want to give the election administrators / county or district clerks time, so you are not crunching at the last minute to get everything done.
And I'm not certain I forgot to look that up, but there's also the write-in timeline for elections as well, and that's definitely past the February 9th.
Mhm.
So that's my report.
Thank you. No further reports. I guess a little bit, shared relations. Trustee report. One, just bringing up, we need to consider the staff breakfast and look for times in December. Would we put under like consent, like, do we need to put on the next meeting? That evaluation process for you? Or do we need to have it before then? I guess is what I'm saying. Like, do we need to just agree that we will do it with our names associated with our surveys or?
I think we do that in December. That's why I brought it up in November, and then in January, we're ready to roll. That's kind of what my thought was.
Right, works.
Again, I don't want to feel like I'm calling the shots on how you.
No,
evaluate
no,
me
no.
Either, I totally get it.
Are we okay to look at dates from December right now?
For the teacher
The teacher
breakfast.
breakfast, yeah.
Mhm.
Is there a particular day that staff feels like would be beneficial?
Oh, yeah, Dave doesn't know.
Right, I talked about it and I clearly did not
We
change.
make breakfast for all the staff of the school
Oh,
and the teachers and the administration, us 5 trustees.
you did a great job.
Kelsey doesn't know this yet.
No.
Kelsey,
Finished about it, but
you want to make some breakfast?
You guys do a great job. We might also use you for, that other position.
It comes together real nice.
That's really cool.
is it usually before Christmas break?
It's usually before Christmas break. We usually,
Do like the 17th, it's a Wednesday or Tuesday, 16th. Are we still in school those days?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, we go right up to,
Tuesday would be great, honestly, if we could do
16th?
Tuesday, the 16th.
John, Stace.
That works for me.
Yeah.
I'm gone the week before, but that works great.
Good.
Okay.
All right, we'll do it
Tuesday.
16th.
And what time do we usually get here?
7.
Okay.
And Amber does a really good job organizing it. You want me to this year?
Yes. that was
Okay.
amazing.
I will also note Rex beforehand and separate.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Yay. Okay. Consent agenda. Consent agenda is utilized to streamline this process. So I'm going to streamline it. Things that we have on the consider approval for our consent agenda are minutes from our regular board meeting for October 14th, warrants, extracurricular balances and expenditures, and approval of personnel recommendations, which includes our JV basketball coach, C. Gill, substitute teacher, C. Gage, and 0.5 bus route driver, M. Knight. So we'll take motion. Thank you, John. Second by Brianne. So
To remove the payment to 406 heavy duty from the consent agenda account.
Yes, I did separate that
which
one.
I'm sorry.
Is it already?
No, but there's a bill,
Warrants.
a
Okay.
warrant that
Okay.
she can't vote on.
Okay. So
Technically.
we will hold out the consideral of approval for warrants and extracurricular balances and expenditures. And then we will proceed with discussing at this point, Are you okay with amending that motion, John and Brian? Okay.
I'll amend it.
Approval, will concede, okay, perfect. We'll go forward with going and voting on those in the consent agenda minus approval of warrants, extracurricular balances and expenditures, unless there's any further discussion. That was not streamlined. All right. Any public comment? Okay, we'll go ahead and proceed to vote on those. All those in favor of approval of the minutes and approval of personnel recommendations under our consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0. We will now need a motion for the approval of warrants and extracurricular balances and expenditures with the
Motion for that.
motion by John,
Second.
second by Stacy. Any discussion
And you're gonna
with the
abstain.
abstain?
Okay.
I couldn't think of the word with the abstain. From Kelsey, any public comment? All right, we'll go ahead and proceed to vote with the Kelsey abstaining. Warrants, extracurricular balances and expenditures. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. All right. Old new business action items. We are considering the approval of policies. Those that have the R behind them are required. Those with our O are optional. So required is 1111 school board elections, 2150 suicide awareness prevention, 2334 release time for religious instruction, 2450 cultures, 3550 is student clubs and groups is optional, 3550F student club forum option, and 8450 AEDs is required. Do we want,
Can we do them all in one?
yeah,
I'll move that we approve.
Okay.
7 of those.
thank you. Moved by John, second by Kelsey. We're open for discussion. Oh, Dave, please.
Yeah, I would just, going through 3550 student clubs and groups. Just want to touch briefly on that one. We really don't have a policy of how student clubs and groups happen. And I think it's important that we do have that, and there's also a forum there. But the curricular student clubs, the Board of Trustees authorized the administration to approve and recognize curricular student clubs or organizations. Those are clubs that actually have something to do with, like FCCLA, like FAA, like DECA, all of those. The one that I'm also concerned about more than that would be the non-curricular activities or clubs. I've heard that, and I'm sure you have heard too, that there's been some discussion about Turning Point starting a chapter in Park City, and that's been happening across the state. You guys can do it one or two ways. You can continue the non-curricular like you do the curricular and have the administration do it, or you can do it to approve it. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
And the
So
way
we
this
in-
is currently wrote is the
Well,
administration.
we have it highlighted that we need to
I
define,
know.
yeah, which one we want. to
So yeah, you go under fundraising, and non-curricular student groups may post notice of gatherings in accordance with policy 3222. Non-curricular student groups may be authorized by the board or administration. I've had that highlighted to have the name of the school to appear as part of the group's name. So on and so on.
Do we want to approve all of the required with an amended to that notion and then pull this one out and do it separate? Or do you guys just want to, whatever?
I personally am fine with administration approving that, and then if there was a disagreement or whatever, it could be board, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so,
That's another layer, another step. It'd be cool.
correct, yeah, and when you get into like these political groups, and it doesn't put us during our political groups, we're non-political, so, you know what I mean? That's probably only gonna come up once, but we just I think that's a better way to do it personally.
I guess, how do you do it if whoever's in charge, the administration ends up being political one way or the other and is pushing their view on something, no?
Non-curricular cannot have that. We cannot be a part of that. Although we may have to provide supervision for some of these meetings, we cannot actively be participants as employees, whether it's administration or teachers or paras or whoever.
Not necessarily that, I mean, just like, I guess. What you said, the turning point, but what if somebody wants to do something else, but
And
you're
approving those
against this
things
one,
is
so you
just-
agree to this one, but you see what I'm saying, like.
But the Supreme Court's been pretty, consistent with equal opportunity, equal opportunity to school facilities. And that's the side of it, yeah. Turning point may be, one club that starts, and there could be a pro-Biden club, and we really have to pull it both if that was to be the case. I think keeping the school board out of that political quagmire might be the best way to do things. And administration, if you understand, equal access is what I was trying to come up with, is something that we would have to provide. The key to non-curricular is that it's student initiated and student led. That's very important.
They're just using the school
They just use
to
it
do
as
their
one.
thing. And the name Park City for like a chat.
If the board or the administration approves it.
And then if he say Dave didn't approve something, then they could always elevate
Appeal
it
it.
to the board, yeah.
But again, with the equal access, and I've seen it with, we've had fellowships of athletic, what is that? Yeah, it's Christian athletic, yeah. Yeah, this is basically the same thing. They're non-curricular, but they still have equal access to the district.
Is that something that the rodeo would have to do if they're gonna let her, or that they have to be a club? For here, I'm just asking.
Hmm.
So if we voted to have them let her, then they would have to fill this out.
And then you see the form, the next
Yeah.
thing, the form actually asks them if they're identifying as a curricular or a non-curricular. And then basically, if you do it with administration decided both ways, then it's not that big of an ordeal. It's just whether or not it's a curriculum-based club. Obviously, rodeo would not be, it would be non-curricular.
The track club would also be,
Mhm.
now would they still have to do that because we already approved them?
Wouldn't they be looked at more like sports because they're MHSA sanctioned, both of them?
So Trump's not.
Oh, they are? Oh, yeah, MHSA, I think oversees the MHSRA. I think it.
Technically, they're non-curricular.
Okay.
club
Hmm.
And rodeo club. But I mean, it's already happened with the trap club. That is what it is. Again, it's just getting everything transparent.
Yep.
It gives you guys a guideline, even if the boards do change, and it gives you policy, it gives the district policy, it gives administration policy to follow. That we do not have at this point.
So can we just amend it to say that the administration on policy
Mhm.
3550
Mhm.
wording?
Yes. So noted. Motion has been amended to approve all of the board policies with 3550 having the annotation of administrative approval. All right, any further comment? Any public comment? All right, we'll go ahead and proceed to vote. All those in favor of approval of the board policies 1111, 2150, 2334, 2450, 3550, 3550F, and 8450. with the amendment of 3550, including that administration will be with the approval. Please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0.
And that's basically gets us caught up with everything from this last legislative session. And now we can start reviewing our policies in the 1000 section, and that's how we keep current.
And we should tell them like what you're working on with the website, how you're updating them all in
I
there.
am.
I didn't report that. I'm sorry.
No, it's our policy manual kind of discombobulated formatting. A lot of things were not, you guys have passed and then they weren't, are being brought up to speed, so I've been working on that. In the evenings, watching football. I lost ESPN because of YouTube and them are fighting. But I am plugging away at that. And that is kind of a chore. Also, I think we should probably take a look at housing that with. I looked at the outfit that was at the conference in Helena with MCell, and I think our best bet would be go MTSBA and let them house it. If you go on the website, go to MTSBA and take a look how they do that. It's clean. It's real clean. And we can link it into our policy, into our website to do that. I think it's $750 a year. I can double check on that, but it's well worth it. We have to have a current policy.
And they maintain all the old copies.
We still do that.
Okay.
But it's just the format of the software that they have.
So then you give the policies to them and they do all the uploading and they manage it that way, or what is their $750 fee?
A place to post it.
Okay.
But I want to be doing our own.
Yeah.
I sent all of these ones on here. They all pay them to manage them.
Yep. Yeah, if you click on one,
Yeah.
they're really clean. It's really clean how it comes out.
Button, and they just have them straight down. You click on any of them, open them right up.
It's consistent through all the policies, your legal references, the date you've reviewed and adopted, and yeah, it's really.
We aren't forced to use their, because sometimes we use Toledo, right?
Yeah.
We can still use
That's the
them.
other reason why I want to. Our own.
They just did a storage thing.
And they also try to sell you on their policies, but you don't have to approve their policies. And there's a distinctive difference between Kelleher Law and MTSBA. MTSBA is more literal. They have a lot of specific policies that, in my estimation, are state law. Kelleher is a little more conservative in the number of policies that she's got in her catalog, in her manual. So I think you can use the best of both worlds. For instance, Kelleher Law does not have the club or the club form in her manual, which is kind of surprising considering.
Mhm.
That's the idea. Amanda.
2024 final audit report. And corrective action plan.
Do you want me to talk on it, Dave?
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted Strum and Associates here, but they just could not pull it together. We can put this off until December, or you can approve it now. What we're looking at is the corrective action plan. Actually, let's go back. If you look at the final audit report, that is the policy, that is the manual that they did. It has our MD&A that we prepared. That's our management discussion and analysis. This has the officials being Mr. Grabowska as the superintendent, because it was last year that they audited. And they are talking
2
about,
years ago.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
June 30th of 24.
24.
So this next one will be my first audit. what
No,
it should be.
25, 26 will be your first audit.
Is this 23, 24?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so we're really late with this actually being done. Usually you guys, they want these done by July. With that, when you are identified as a qualified, which is what our audit was, is qualified findings. OPI wants a cap, a process in which we're going to correct our issues, and that's what we have in there as well. I used the 4-question that OPI sent out in June that wanted for all school districts if there was concerns, and if you want to go ahead and click on that, that's a lot easier to work through than the audit itself. But the findings with negative cash, why did the deficiency occur? What is being done to correct the deficiency? Who is responsible for correcting the deficiency? And will the corrective measures be implemented? Much of this was also done in our plan of improvement that we had with the clerk. And so, and this has been looked at also by Watkins Consulting. So for instance, why did with the negative cash for the finding of 2024-001, the elementary school food, tuition, compensated absences, and miscellaneous programs funds showed cash overdrafts due to timing delays of federal reimbursements, insufficient drawdowns from OPI programs, and unbalanced interfund transfers. The final ESSER 3 request was denied due to staffing changes at OPI, resulting in some of the reimbursements being left incomplete. And so basically what that was $142,000. What is being done? Expenditures in 2026 were adjusted so that only food and supply costs are paid from the food service fund, while the general fund covers all the wages. The elementary tuition fund levy was increased to limit the deficit and to meet new open enrollment tuition costs. This is what you guys approved in August. An interfund loan from the elementary general fund was approved with compensated absences fund, and funds were also transferred from the high school miscellaneous fund to the elementary miscellaneous fund. That's that interlocal agreement that we had to do in July, August, September actually. Monthly reconciliations with the county treasurer and prompt drawdowns from OPI have been implemented. Who's responsible? And that's the district clerk and me. And we've already begun that process. And so that's kind of how that goes. You want the budget overages? Why did the deficiency occur for 2024-002? The elementary tuition, elementary technology, and high school building reserve funds exceeded budgeted amounts due to construction project timing, delays in intercap reimbursements, and underestimation of technology costs. What is being done? Expenditures in these funds are now tracked monthly using a district created budget monitoring spreadsheet. Interfund loans will be used if a fund approaches its expenditure limit. Future construction reimbursements will be scheduled to coincide with the fiscal year's timing. And Lisa and I are responsible for that. And when will this be done? And it's already happening. Cash errors and reconciliation. Errors occurred between cash balances between the district's accounting system and the county treasurer's records were not regularly reconciled. Menu entries and late journal vouchers cause mismatched balances. That's why we have what we're doing with our clerk report now every month to show that we are in balance with the county. And it's not always us that's out of balance. It's the county that we find is out of balance with us. But if we don't reconcile, we don't know that. So it's too late, which was the problem in the past. Watkins Consulting is involved with this. And then again, it's Lisa and I. And it's fully implemented. We started that on June 30th, 2025, and we're continuing to do that monthly. Finding of the trustees financial summary report. District accounting records did not support the TFS due to prior reconciliation errors between the accounting system and the county data. Basically, what you guys said as a budget was not what was being followed by the district office.
I was using the stuff from Black Mountain versus the county amounts also. And that's where those discrepancies happen, because we could never balance, so I took my numbers versus the counties.
All accounts are now reconciled monthly in the TFS for 2025 will directly align with the accounting records. The reconciliation process from findings ensures accurate financial reporting. That's the clerk's responsibility for that. And we've we've verified annually during the audit preparation already. Compensated absences calculation, this deficiency occurred because errors were occurred due to incorrect formulas and column misalignments in the compensated absences work spreadsheet used for accrual calculations. What is being done to correct the deficiency? The spreadsheet has been corrected and the formulas have been verified. The district clerk reviews entities quarterly to ensure accuracy in future reporting periods. And Lisa's responsible for that. And we've corrected it and we're monitoring that. And that's one of the things that Watkins currently continues to do for us. Miscellaneous fund reconciliation for the elementary miscellaneous fund was not submitted to the auditor because Fund 115 did not balance at the time of the audit. All accounts, including Fund 115, are now reconciled and balanced. The reconciliation worksheet will be completed and submitted on time for future audits, and Lisa's responsible for that. And when will this happen? It's already begun. Finding number 7, capital assets reporting. The district clerk entered certain capital assets into incorrect categories within the capital asset schedule, resulting in errors in reporting and depreciation tracking. What is being done? All capital asset records have been updated to meet GASB Code 1400 requirements. New purchases are added immediately upon acquisition to maintain accurate records for depreciation and insurance policy purposes. Lisa's responsible for that deficiency and it's ongoing. You don't necessarily have to approve the audit, but I think in hindsight, what was happening before, when you have audits like that, you can't just blame the clerk. It's management. Management includes the superintendent's office and it includes the school board. It's all. And so by doing this in this fashion and understanding that, we had $103,676 deficit in our lunch program last year. We're short $142,000 in our federal funds. Those are all things that are going to take a couple of years to square away. But you understanding that, this being in the minutes, you approving it, shows that you were made aware of everything as accurately as possible. And this is very accurate because you guys decided to bring in Watkins Consulting. Again, most of us superintendents, we understand budgets, but the drill down, the nuts and bolts of this in the clerk's realm, I don't have that ability. I don't have that expertise. In the 22 years I've been doing this, I have never had to have to do that. And so I think it's important that by doing this way and keeping Watkins involved, which he's willing to do, we're not the only district that he's doing this with. He's also involved with Red Lodge on this capacity. Or in this capacity, there's somebody else.
He's got a couple tribal schools to the east of us also,
Yeah. So
and he does West Yellowstone.
that's right. It was West.
Yeah.
So
And-
and it's the training process. It's making sure our clerk is getting the best training. We also have an assistant clerk that's absorbing this as well. This is something that we do not want to have again. We do need to find that trust in the community.
One thing to keep in mind is the stuff that this is from almost 2 years ago now. So it's gonna happen again because of those deficits. So this cap is essentially taking the last 2 years of deficits and more or less answering those for 2 years, because the 23-24 school year is over and done, and so is 24-25. And I was having the same trouble in 24-25. Yes, we got it fixed, but it's going to take at least a year, if not longer, for some of those, some of that deficiency to go away. So there's gonna be repeated, and that's why it's under that, one review, is because there were multiple years of the issue with it.
We have more dirty audits coming,
So,
what she's saying. But we are moving in the right place. We are on the right trajectory now.
Well, I just want to say I really appreciate the transparency in this because I have been through one audit and I will tell you it was nothing like this at all. I mean, I don't even know that we really understood what was going on with the audits. It was kind of like this was, put into the wrong. Like.
yeah,
You know
like
what I
coding it
mean?
wrong or
Yeah,
something. Yeah, yeah.
this was coded wrong. It's not a big deal kind of thing. And so I think that.
The other thing to keep in mind on this too is, this app I do every year and send in every year. It's just because of the set way that the audit has been called now, is we broke it down, and Dave found this. How do we want that app to be done? And the breakdown was phenomenal. So he just took the information that I had created in my cap that I normally do, and he was able to break it apart into the way that was created. So, which was a major help. So,
I have one question. Are the CAP plan, is it like approved or denied by OPI, or is
We
it
have to
just,
we have
submit
to
it.
submit it
Yeah.
by the 20th of November.
and then they do have to approve it, or
Mhm.
ask you to revise it or whatever? Okay.
But the fact that it's going in with your guys' approval, I think will assist, but yeah, it does need to get submitted. And I still want Tom Hayes to come in. He's the co-owner of our audit program. I still want him to come in and talk to you guys too, just so, he can better explain some of the specifics of what was going wrong with this. And I'd love to have Todd come in here with it too. So, again,
And
some sunshine on it.
not that you really want to read the whole audit, but the last 7 to 8 pages of the actual audit, which is in that folder, has the findings, and it shows on there that it was a repeat finding, and it shows what findings they were. So like I think it's page 60 to 66 or 6, yeah. So
Yeah,
that,
we had repeat findings over a period of 8 years,
mhm.
same stuff over and over and over and over.
And I did come into accounting that was not balanced, and apparently just decided to keep it that way. Not really, no. But I did come into books that weren't balanced and have struggled the whole time to try and get them.
The history is the history of it. We're looking forward and we need to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Thank you for all your hard work getting that. Take care.
Thank you for allowing me to have just full time, because it has taken me, I'm literally working on stuff that I normally would be pulling my hair out at this point. So, and there's not much left, so I can't really take full.
So we want to vote through the
Audit and the cap, would you please?
audit and the cap.
Yes.
I'll move.
Moved by John to approve both the 2024 financial audit report and our corrective action plan for OPI. Second by Stacy. Okay. Comment? Discussion? Public comment? All right, go ahead and proceed to vote. All those in favor of the approval?
Right.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0. All right, 2025 Stillwater School Compromise Agreement. I believe there was a recommendation. to table. Did I see that?
I didn't make a recommendation in my notes. Well, I guess I did make a recommendation.
Move to table consideration of it,
Right,
but pending legal review.
yes.
Okay.
And I wanted to talk to you guys first and kind of get the background of this a little bit, though I have, Brandon, I think I told somebody during the Zorky, district tournament, we had about 4 hours between, games, and so I went down last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, and hung out in the county commissioner's office, and so I found one of them. And I went and I spent probably an hour and a half speaking with, the
Rivlin.
Revlin. Got kind of his perspective of it. There's a lot of opinions about this. And I think that, I think that we probably need a legal interpretation of, this agreement. I don't think I'm pretty positive, talking with Steve and with Roger, that this is something that the county's not going to approve. And, I'm not certain if that's what you guys want to do, because in this agreement that, basically asks you guys to walk away from the 25 years reparations that, was in Amendment 3 that, you guys, pushed forward a couple, 3 years ago. I've heard that, one time there was about $2 million a year, and this last year was about $200,000. That was shared with the impact entities. I did find out that was actually more like $400,000, but whatever happens in the future, I think we need to continue to pursue that for our taxpayers.
And the bigger thing is if the mine closes, the distribution of those funds is only for the schools that's in that impact plan, which is a significant amount of money.
So, reading through that original plan, the trigger, one of the big triggers, correct me if I'm wrong, is it's not the number of kids' parents that work there, it's the number of, necessarily as much as it is the number of parents that moved into the district because they got a job there,
And contractors.
and
You gotta remember.
contractors.
Mhm.
So I would love to try to figure out what that number actually is.
There's been some numbers worked up in files. The problem is you can't recreate history, unfortunately. Well, actually, history can be recreated, but we can't
Revisionism.
recreate numbers we don't have.
Right.
And so you can make small guesses. You can accurately get that number for today, but the county is also not able to accurately produce records of that for any of the other school districts as well. At least they haven't been able to provide it to us upon our request.
Well, the more that I learn about this, the more I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
messy.
it's a black hole.
Mhm.
almost.
That's the other
Well,
thing.
Roger had mentioned that the commissioners were going to approach the mine board about opening up the amendment when he was last here.
Mhm.
I understood that correctly. Did Mr. Reebland mention that?
No.
So I didn't have a clear understanding of where that was coming from. Or if it's in board minutes. Like I looked and I couldn't find it in their board minutes.
In the county commissioners.
Yeah.
Commissioners.
Because he said that when he was talking about the state hospital too. Did you remember
He said
hearing
something
that?
about it, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that on the recording?
Yeah.
well,
Should be.
yeah, I mean, him saying that, but I mean, I don't know where the county, I mean, that would be a question for them, I guess. Maybe we could, previously the county would meet with us about the commissioners, about like where they were, so maybe we should just have another meeting or committee or something.
There is a disagreement over the in-migration, and how that term is used and what it,
It's not well defined.
yeah, it's not well defined, so I think there's kind of been an argument over that, what does that mean exactly? And it's been
Isn't that
interpreted,
an industry definition or term?
it's been interpreted differently by the commissioners, by
Well,
legal,
But not
by,
court.
because the commissioners are also saying like, let's say Stacy's husband moves here unemployed, okay? But then obtains a job at the mine. Well, they don't count that as in migration because when they moved here, he was on,
They had to have moved here for the job.
yeah,
Like already had a job and that's.
but,
Secrets.
but it hasn't yet necessarily been accurately assessed the same way through all the school districts. That's the concerning thing with this. So like, as, I don't know, Fishtail, who receives money from this, and asked that exact same question,
He sent
and
me-
records were obtained the exact same way as if you were asking city school district. They haven't because,
When I was down in Roberts for a volleyball game, a month ago, I had an opportunity to sit and talk with Dan for quite a while. He said that there was a lawsuit that Kelva Law had put together that was ready to roll. Are you guys aware of this?
It's a letter basically to the, no, it was gonna be filed with the court. Yeah, it was gonna be filed with the court, but do you remember exactly what that was?
Does anybody have this document?
no,
Okay, that's the other question I have for you. Are you okay with me kicking this compromise over to Kelva Law? I think it's Bethel Holloran that's actually doing it, not the VIA. Are you guys okay with me, sending that on to her to have her come back with a legal, opinion?
And they were the ones that they'll have that document that was gonna be submitted to the court, because they were the one that drafted that, so.
If you need help understanding some of that, Dusty Webb had a plethora of information. He's actually the one that did, I think, most of the legwork on getting everything together initially to go to the county commissioner.
Kevin.
Did Dusty bring this to you? Or he
I just
sent it
got
to
the
the
email
county?
like the county commissioners and all the other, I mean, like I told you, that next morning after it went out, Roger grabbed me in the parking lot and I basically was asking how much I knew about this before it went out. I knew nothing and I have not yet met Dusty. And I think that's one of the things the commissioners have a question about is what his participation actually is, which I don't think that's really here nor there. If he's trying to assist us, that's just another feather in our hat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's what, he's coming at it as a taxpayer.
They live in the district.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that, that's another part of that transparency. That's another part of that, getting on track with our community, is looking at these resources that we have not been able to access for whatever reason.
Well, there's been 10 years of work done on this. I mean, the community has played a huge role in that because there's been some well-attended commissioner meetings from community members. I just think that the situation's a little unprecedented and I don't know, it reminds me of the old Anaconda days of fighting over mine money. And I think like, yeah, like you got to get legal input, but I think we've even struggled with that because like legally, we have received input at different times when we've submitted amendment letters. Those were actually assigned by attorneys. Like we didn't do that on our own, like they were legally written. It's a hard thing to push forward. Like,
Well,
and I think there's relationships there that are beyond us. Yeah, well, no, not even necessarily beyond repair, but like, you know, the county can actually request an amendment as well to the mine board. But, you know, I don't know where they are with that. And so, yeah, I definitely agree seeking legal advice is important. But as far as like the community goes, I think like the school district has put a considerable amount of work into this. And, you know, the county keeps coming back to us saying, well, the mine's not doing good right now. Well, it's not about how much money the mine's making right this second. That's not the point of all of this, right? Like there's the larger picture if the mine closes, how that money is distributed. And so I do think like there has been a changeover of commissioners since we originated this conversation, so maybe coming back to the drawing table with some open meetings with them to understand where the county is in relationship to the comment Mr. Webb made would maybe be important too, to like, we used to have a committee who worked directly on this, and we spent, I don't even know how many hours I spent personally on it, but hours and hours on end. And so I think taking that history to the attorney might be important too. You can landmine it from minutes. I have some of it, but, and then I don't know if we want to have a committee meeting, talk to the commissioners might be a good idea. I don't think that relationship's beyond repair, but I don't know that the commissioners necessarily know the answer to it either.
The commissioners have been very adverse to this for whatever whatever reason may be. And when we had brought this to them a couple of years ago, they were originally going to say no to it. And they decided that they would bring in an outside person to look at, whether it could be amended or not. They kind of duped us. Yeah, they kind of
super duper.
Yeah, they duped us with and said that, oh, this person was an outside person, but they had worked for the county as a county planner. They had also worked for the mine. So it really wasn't.
Not a true outside person. And I mean, I think the other concern is there's other communities who are highly against, and there was even past board members who were very hesitant to bring up this conversation or open this up just in relationship to surrounding communities and our relationship with them, because it obviously impacts the distribution that's going to Columbus and Absaroka. And then the larger concern is when you do open the amendment, it creates Pandora's box of all of a sudden Billings can say, well, we want in on this, and Red Lodge and we've Laurel, and right. And so your shares of that money, it could potentially be even less than what they are now for Stillwater County. And I think as a board, we've respected that opinion, but in the same sense, it's not necessarily equitably distributed right now. It's not. And so
I kind of think they're using that as a sort of an excuse and
Yeah.
a way to keep us from asking for it to be amended, is to say, well, gosh, now Billings can request it, or Red Lodge, and everybody, and so, well, we don't want to take it away from the other communities, so let's just not do this at all. Well, that's not fair to Rebel J, Green Point, the communities that are kind of getting stiff at this point. So.
Have they ever used the argument that you would lose guaranteed tax money by doing this? GTB?
Mm-mm.
You would lose. GTB is the equalizer between rich districts and poor districts, right? The rich districts have to pour so much money into that to help with the poor districts, which we are. But, looking at it from my study, we would still get the same amount, if not more, but it would actually be coming from local instead of across the state, which means that would be on the heels of actually our tax base in essence. I was just wondering if they try to use that argument, it's like you're going to lose it, but it's actually an advantage for us. Okay, I will get this off to or Beth, and
Do you have, did Dan leave a folder of all the documents we submitted?
I would probably have to sit down and show you what I have. I do have a thumb drive that from Mr. Weber.
Oh,
Misty.
that probably
He's got
has
the
the
whole book.
original
Yep.
amendment.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's got the original plan, and it also has the amendment, and I've got a hard
Right.
copy of it, and I've got the digital copy.
But since that original amendment, we also submitted follow-up letters and responses.
Yep, and I've got
And
all that in.
Letter, you have all that?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm sure, getting the stuff that attorney has would be helpful as well.
And
Okay.
Bia actually is the one that we were on the phone with, and
It was Bia?
yeah.
No, it was Alan, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Bia, but
Yeah.
we always did.
I
There are
talked
two
to Elizabeth
Elizabeths, so-
Tonight, she was in Heartview, dodging cows and, on the road. Well, but she said that, I would need to talk back if she had that information, so.
So we're good.
I will
Dan
check
will
that
pick-
off tomorrow, and, actually, I'll send it tonight after the meeting. We'll get rolling on it.
All right, so consideration and approval of a high school activities letter recognition for high school rodeo, high school trap club, future farm FFA, and FCCLA. Do we need to have those because we passed policy to those two in particular? Do any of these clubs need to fill out
I'm recommending.
that they fill it out or recommending that we go ahead and proceed
Go ahead and
with?
accept it.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It'd just be the rodeo club.
Yeah,
We
Still
just do the
have 'em.
rodeo club, but the other three would actually be something that you can letter. And that's, again, that's why I asked the question, does the rodeo club use Park City? And they're representing us.
Mhm.
I think that's fantastic, and we should recognize and celebrate their achievements. And, the FFA, they have pens for the letters, as does FCCLA. I talked to Mike back in August about it. He was excited about the prospect.
So how does that work with does administration set the
lettering criteria.
yeah, the lettering criteria?
Usually it's the coaches. It's usually the coaches that put it together when they have their meetings, and that's something that Mitch is involved with as well.
So the rodeo club then needs to have a coach, is that correct?
No.
Okay. Cause that one is considered student led?
Yeah.
Cause it's non-curricular.
Yes, and also, what would it take for them to be lettered?
So is that something that they
I
work
think that's
with
something we
Mitch
could
on?
borrow some other districts from. I mean, I did this in Twin Bridges, I did this in our lead. There's other school districts around here that have done it. I think we could adopt what they're doing as far as the procedures or how they decide to letter. And usually there's a lot of, I guess in a way, academic freedom in a sense, athletic freedom.
Mhm.
When it comes to lettering and athletics, some coaches have different philosophies on that. You have to be on the district team or the divisional team, whichever. You have to play so many minutes, stuff like that. It all depends. But I think with the rodeo club, those kids participating in whatever amount that they think is appropriate, I think is appropriate for us.
I'll move to that we support lettering for high school trap club, FFA, FCCLA, and high school rodeo pending completion of student club.
Based on that part policy that we just.
Yeah, based upon that, 3550.
Moved by Brianne, second by John. Open for discussion.
I just have a nitpicky discussion. Future Farmers of America has not been a thing since 1988. It is FFA.
That's true.
Yeah,
Good
It's
job.
National FFA organization, but anytime I see
Yay.
Future Farmers of America, it just screams that that person has no idea about
That's
FFA.
okay.
So, don't ever
They'll be our next student.
refer to it as Future Farmers of America. It is FFA.
In Dave's defense, it was FFA
It was.
back when he wasn't.
Was the future for
In Ronan back in the day,
Yeah.
it was Blue Jackets with FFA on it, but okay,
Yeah.
just let's say FFA, but
forgive
don't
you,
look at.
Dave.
For nitpicky, it's the National
Thank you
FFA
for educating me.
organization is the name since 1980.
Thank you.
And she's young
Maybe
enough
it's
to
the
know
heart,
that.
okay.
Did you hear me?
We're learning.
You're young enough to know that.
Travis bored, it's stuck in my head.
So basically, it's like calling a family consumer science teacher a home ec-
Yes, yeah.
Do it, Dave.
bad.
Bad. All right, any public comments? All right, so.
I have a question. Does speech and drama get letters?
Yes,
We do.
they're MHSA sanctioned activity as well.
So this
You
would
get 'em
be
in the
after
spring.
school activities.
Is when you do it typically, isn't it? Springs awards banquet? Or do we
Spring.
do it? It's spring, isn't it, when they do their?
We
d-
so because we
Fall
had
would be
the last week of
November.
January.
Okay,
Yeah, you guys have always been included in that.
yes.
Cause you
yes, during
cry
the basket.
talking at it every year, that banquet. You will.
I have
All
one
right.
more question.
Oh, yep.
What about the Special Olympics bowling at First High School?
I think so too. Absolutely. In fact,
So
we
do
got
I
them
meant to
uniforms.
include?
If you haven't seen the picture, we actually got them uniforms this year. Um,
Oh, it's on the
It's on our
webpage.
webpage. It's on our
Yeah,
webpage.
it's on the school.
So we're amending to add special.
Yeah, we are amending our motion to add the Special Olympics.
So,
Are they just,
This
it's
is-
not just,
what
is
do
it
they
just
call
bowling or is
Unified.
it?
Make it the Unified Special Olympics, the Park City Unified Special Olympics
Team?
team.
Okay.
Which would include kids that are working with our Special Olympic students.
Oh, okay. Oh,
We have some
We-
regular ed kids
They're
that are involved with that
on-
as well.
no,
okay.
So
Unified Partners.
While we have this open, is there any other organization that, I just wanna make sure, like,
Legit.
I wish we had chess club, but we don't.
there's a lot of kids and if they're
Yeah.
in these things and they need to be recognized and
What
have a way
about-
to be recognized or.
What about yeah, that too, but what about the teachers who play volleyball, really good? Or the trivia pursuit for Thursday? I should let her as well.
Adult ed. And
They'll know that.
Just making sure while we're in the middle. doing that.
As we go forward, we'll find more and hopefully we will have more clubs, show up. I love chess club, that should be something. Science Olympiad. I don't think we do that here, do we?
Yeah,
You're-
we have
so you're-
it in March. We do the academic Olympics and then we do science bowl.
Right. Stuff like that.
athletes. There you go. Okay. All right, we will go ahead and proceed to vote on the approval of our high school activities letter of recognition for high school rodeo, high school trap club, FFA, FCCLA, and our Unified Special Olympics team. Did I need to add something to that, Stacy? Sorry. They're unified partners and they're unified partners. Okay. All right. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0. School board work session. Okay.
Do you want to do that in December? It needs to happen.
It does.
It really
And I
does.
gave you guys some examples there and they just, student learning and success, support for staff, fiscal stewardship, safe and supportive schools, community engagement, communication. Those are big silos that you
Yeah.
can do a lot of things with.
Okay.
And SMART goals are really easy to put together with those. But it's definitely,
Pull out your calendars. I got mine now.
All right. December. So we've taken December 17th for that's January.
Which evening is the concert?
December 18th, I'm sorry.
And
The 10th?
Mhm.
Ninth
Oh,
and
no,
10th?
I'm wrong month. JK.
9th and 10th, 9th and 10th. yeah.
December 16th is staff breakfast, school board meeting on December 9th. Concert is December 10th,
9th and 10th,
9th
right?
and 10th. Okay, I must have just put on the one that applied to me.
Music is the 10th.
Okay.
wait, what's the night?
So we're all gonna
And-
be here for the 16th on the morning. Don't wanna do it that evening, so then we all know we're in town.
Same time as
Yep.
our
Yeah,
board
I'm
meeting.
okay with that. How about the 16th that evening
For,
for school board, for the board work session, December 16th?
Can we do 6?
Yes.
I think we'll have committee meetings. Before that, I know we've got policy, governance and curriculum coming up next week. We have, what's the next, finance,
21st of November.
21st of November,
When's the policy one next?
next Tuesday.
And I think the safety one is the 3rd of December.
Yeah, the first Wednesday of the month. So, I'll put those on, I'll talk to those committees and get some, get that on their agendas and start looking at those 5 things that they might be able to contribute to.
Perfect.
Try to get some light work done before we get together. We can do dinner. I'll get dinner here. I won't cook. I won't eat some of you guys, but I'll find some. We'll do something. Besides pizza. Oh, you want pizza? No, no pizza.
No.
Um,
I'm sorry. I am not a pizza fan. We have it all the time at work.
let me know what. you guys-
Domino's.
No, you're gonna get.
I'm gonna be picky.
Let me
I'm
know,
picky about food.
Just
Let me-
seating.
give me some ideas.
Okay.
Think about it, just text it to me.
Is it a little?
And if we have to do 4 or 5,
Different options.
yeah,
So we're gonna Uber
I'd
Eats
say
this
that.
all in.
maybe a couple.
Mexican it is.
God,
Very.
God, I eat chili too.
There used to
Dave's
be.
hot
one.
chicken, chili.
Still not great.
You
Never?
must live close to
Yeah.
Shields if you go to Taco
Yeah,
John,
I
they've
live right
got
off
chicken.
44th. I'm right down there off the shop.
We're adjourning this meeting.
Wingstop.
Yeah, kill the camera, please. Thank you, guys.
do you
That was
find
a- We got a lot of stuff done.